G'day, cunts! Welcome to episode number 61 of the Greencast, a podcast by me, Mr. Greentext, where I ramble to myself in my man like a fucking bedroom. So yeah, look, I know. Remember when I said there'd be a new episode every 2 weeks, if not maybe every week, if not then every 2 weeks? Oops, I missed a fucking week. I don't know, I was just busy, and I like to have these episodes up on, like, the end of the week, so that way I can, like, recap shit that I've been doing, and I was like, oh, I might record one beginning of next week and put that out the same day, and it just didn't fucking happen, and it just escaped me. But yeah, anyway, I do have some actual stuff to talk about this week, because I have been doing some stuff. And the first thing I wanted to talk about is just a brief thing that happened to me night before, yeah. I was at a party, one of my uni friends that I hadn't seen in a while, and it was, I don't know, there wasn't really a theme, but all the people there was also just a lot more people than I thought there was going to be. There was like my usual group of friends that I made at university that like pretty much my entire cohort are friends with each other, which is pretty cool. But it was also kind of funny being able to tell like whose friends are who, because there was 3 roommates in there, and all of them had wildly fucking different friends. There were literally like, there was the alt girl group, there was the, how do I put it? There was the sort of stoner looking group, which was obviously another person's friends, and then like the in-between non-binary people and other, I will just say it as that, other, as to not offend people, I guess. But yeah, so that was like a whole thing, and immediately just like, I'm not going to talk to any of these people because I don't give a shit. And I was wandering around sitting on a couch, and then just magically came up across a cowboy hat, and I'm like, I'm going to put this on and keep it on for the rest of the night. Just because I had like, you know, I had some blue accents on my shirt, I had my blue Van socks going on, so I had like this whole blue thing going on. And I'm just chilling there, sitting on the couch. And a girl comes down at one point, and she just says, like, offhanded, like, hey, with that hat, you'd make a good stripper. And I'm like, thank you. And then I'm just like, I don't know how to take this, so I think I'm just going to take it as a compliment. And then I quickly realized, if the roles are reversed, it could very much go wrong. Like, imagine, as a guy, going up to a girl and just saying, hey, you'd make a good stripper. And look, I have no doubt that there are some girls that would definitely, you know, take that as a compliment to be like, ooh, I feel empowered. You know, my body, and I feel empowered. I don't know, something like, I'm not a woman. I can't fucking give perspective of what a woman would feel, but I have no doubt that there would be some women that would be empowered if you told them, you look like a stripper. But as a guy, I don't get any of that sort of stuff at all. Like, especially if you're just a woman in the club, or a girl in the club, or whatever, you know, being hit on, catcalled. Catcalled's a fucking big one. As a guy, I've never been fucking catcalled before, I think. If I have been catcalled, it's definitely been ironically with the boys going, ooh, look at this sexy over here. Ooh, look at him. I've never had a platonic's the wrong word. I've never had a organic wolf whistle. And I'd love one. I'd love for one. I want to be objectified. As a man, we don't. I want equality in objectifying genders, ma'am. I want to be objectified. I want to be fucking used. That sounds so weird and wrong when I put it like that, ma'am. Fuck. Man's down bad, you know? Fucking, I'm not even 5 minutes in the podcast, and I'm already talking about, just use me. Fucking, use me, please, I'm lonely. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about, is guys just don't get that sort of, like, compliment. Is it really, I don't know, is that really a compliment, catcalling? I don't know, yeah. I guess that's the thing to, you know. Let me know if you think catcalling and stuff like that is a compliment. Because very much so guys get defensive if a girl then snaps back and go, ew, da-da-da, or, like, tells them off for it. It'll be like, oh, just let it take a compliment. Is catcalling really a compliment? Because, yeah, again, roles reversed. As a guy, if I was catcalled, it'd be like, oh, fuck, damn, someone finds me attractive. Because, yeah, look, I don't know. I mean, obviously you guys haven't seen my face, but I think I could quite happily call myself anywhere between, I don't know, 5.5 to 6 out of 10. And I'll quite happily take that, you know? I think I can't remember where I heard it, but I heard a universal rule that everybody can at least gain 2 points on the hotness scale, or the attractiveness scale, or whatever. You know? A lot of people, and a lot of famous people, they gain their points by being famous. Some people gain their points by beefing up and getting ripped and, you know, working on their personality. But you can gain 2 points, I think, organically. I mean, you're kind of fucked if you're a 3. I suppose if that makes... I don't know, would 5 be average then? Yeah, I'm going to call 5 average, I think. So yeah, I guess you're kind of fucked if you're like a 2, I guess. But, you know, look, there's not much I think you can really do with yourself if you're a 2 out of 10, man. But I don't know if that really works for females at the same time. Because, you know, you could be... What if you're like a 9? Can you really organically be a 9? I don't know. This is very much a trade of thought podcast fucking episode, I guess. But yeah, bring it back to like what I was talking about before. It's just, I just want to be fucking objectified, man. Like, sure, I don't really go out to places like clubs where I can be objectified, I suppose. And it is a weird situation because I also just don't fucking drink at the same time. So, and I feel like those sorts of situations... I'm fucking struggling to speak today for some reason. Those sorts of situations, people are typically, you know, a little bit of different frame of mind, per se. They're a little bit fucky, where they don't have any filter to say that sort of stuff. But yeah, I think that's something I want, you know, to change in the world. I just bump the cord and my fucking computer's like, boom, boom. I just want to be catcalled, man. I want to be like... I just want a girl to have the balls to just be like, hey, you have a nice ass. Is that too much to ask for? Fucking hell. I'm immediately going off on a tangent. Dating apps. Here's what I have the problem with. So, in my history of dating apps, I have had... how many? I've been on dates with 2 women before. And I've got like 3 apps that I use at the moment. I use Tinder, Hinge, and fucking Bumble. And I've gotten 2 dates from it over the span of like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years of using it. And both of them have been in the last like year time frame. But the thing that I have the problem with, especially with those fucking apps, is that, you know, it's hard... If you're not, like, you know, ripped or whatever the fuck, it's hard to get objectified or whatever the fuck, and I've, you know, again, male, don't really know the female's perspective, but I can imagine that a lot of their fucking DMs from guys is just them just be like, oi, cuz, you got a fucking nice rack, you wanna fuck? Like, I've never had a woman be so direct to just be like, hey, you're hot, let's fuck. Actually, wait, no. Have I? Hold on a minute. So, wait. I kind of almost have. Let me fucking open it. I had a girl message me on Hinge once. And the fucking... the date actually never happened, which was kind of sad and funny. Wait, was it on Hinge? No, it was on Tinder. Give me 1 minute while I stall and then bring up the fucking app to find it. I had... a girl messaged me on Hinge, and her opening line was something relating to my Tinder. I just said, but you're really hot, so it doesn't matter. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Oh, my God. I've never had... This is exactly what I'm talking about. I've never had this before. I've never had a girl just be like, hey, you're hot, so whatever, let's do something. And I'm like, oh shit, I have to play this off and, play it cool or fucking something. I don't know. I didn't know how to react. I've never had it before. Like I've been saying the entire time. And so eventually, like I said something or other too, and then she's just like, do you want to go on a skate date? And did like the fucking like touching tip finger things with like the, the uwu face, whatever. And I'm like, holy fuck, it's happening. Skate date with a chick. This is epic. Long story short, we talk, I add her on Facebook, we organize a day. We were talking on like Friday night, we organize it for Tuesday. A couple of days before, it turns out that I completely forgot, because I live in my own fucking world, that day happened to be Australia Day, and she was apparently going into the city to protest and had forgotten about it as well with some of her friends. And so we reorganized it for the following day. And I'm like, that's all good. I forgot about it too. I was going to hang out with my friends that day. No drama, no harm, no foul. This is just exposing me. Fuck it. And so, yeah, that came and went. And so, literally, the night before, so on the night of Australia Day, I literally stop on the way home to get condoms just in case. Just in case, because, your man's fucking safe. And she mentioned she wanted to come back to my place to watch Star Wars. Look, this was basically my dream fucking come true in a woman. She asked to go on a skate date and wanted to come back to my house to watch Star Wars. I'm like, holy fuck. I'm going to prepare myself just in case, because man fucking needs to put that shit down. And then, yeah. About 9 p.m. I get a message from her, hey, sorry, can't make that day either. I'm going down the coast to see my family. I had an emergency. Will we organize it again? And I'm like, okay, no drama. Let me know when you're free and we'll reorganize. That was about a month and a half ago. And she left me on scene with the next fucking message. And that shit sailed right fucking quick. And then I fucking deleted her from my Facebook because she can go suck a fat one, as far as I'm concerned. Getting my hopes up. My woman never been so forward with me. That's the problem with a lot of dating apps. You have to fucking organize it for as soon as possible. Because, especially, on the opposite end of the spectrum, whereas a guy is swiping through everything, hoping for something, women are very much picky on dating apps and they've got so much fucking choice. So you have to be fast, you have to be quick to get it off the platform and also meet up to just, get their perspective out of their mind and be like, oh yeah, I think I do kind of like this guy. And whatever and whatnot. And I think, yeah, that was my problem. I organized it for too far in advance, even though that was only like 3 or 4 fucking days. Because then it's the awkward phase of like, do I do awkward small talk in the middle of it in like the 4 days? Because I'd much rather just do that in person. If I'm going to be completely honest, I'd much rather just do small talk. You can bounce off each other. You then have to wait for the awkward like back and forth. You can figure out your actual chemistry then. So yeah, it's always like an awkward like, do I message them? Do I try and banter with them before I actually meet up with them? And I don't know. And yeah. Hilariously, a couple days later, while I'm also organizing that, man's a player and fucking also matched with someone, and then organized a date with a different girl, was going to go grab some burgers and go to the arcade with her, and she was a nurse. And, yeah, same thing, she had a lot of weird, funky hours working, which, fair enough. I'm not going to fault you at all. We organized for a lunch on a Friday. This was like Monday night or something like that. Again, I hadn't really figured out if this was going to be an issue planning this Friday advance because I still didn't know what was going to happen with the other girl. And so it came round to the Friday. We organized the lunch. I messaged her the Thursday night before, actually, just saying, hey, are you still keen? I get no fucking answer. It gets like an hour before the time we organized for the date, I sent another message, hey, is this still happening? And then I still get no response. I do not leave my house, because, I mean, thankfully, you know, I organized it for a place that's under 10 minutes drive from me, so it's fucking easy to go to, or, you know, turn up late or whatever the fuck else. And, yeah, fucking no message at all. Goes the entire rest of the day. Nothing. The next day, I just happened to go on a hike with one of my friends, and as I wake up the next early morning at like 4 a.m., I see I have a message from her at like 2 a.m. of her saying, hey, sorry, completely forgot about it. And then I left that bitch on red, and I fucking removed her too. So yeah, how did I get to fucking dating apps and everything else here? Oh yeah, being objectified. Good fucking lord. So yeah, my recent experience with dating apps has been pretty fucky, to say the least. And yeah, the other girl was also into Star Wars too. I guess that's my fucking... I guess that's my type, is Star Wars girls. And also watching anime and whatever the fuck. And yeah, look, she might have forgotten, might have just been a slip of the mind or whatever. It happens, but I'm not gonna have that be our first fucking interaction, is the bitch forgetting about the date that we organized completely when, you know... Again, not to sound up myself, but she sounded pretty keen too, and everything, and got some compliments back. So, put that in the fucking trash and removed her from my fucking Facebook real quick too. And that is that. I'm gonna take a break and drink something, because my mouth is dry. And immediately not cut it out. What else did I have on my little list here? Oh yeah, did a bit more urbex exploring the past week-ish as well. If you want to see any video from it, there is the video on my TikTok, humble plug. Go follow Mr. Greencast with no S, because the cunt with the S took it for some reason. Or I'll probably put it on my Twitter, either as well. We went to an abandoned bowling alley in North Brisbane this time. Every now and then you drive past it going to and from places, and I'm like, oh, I'd really like to go there. So I organised it with my group and everything. We made sure to go there at like 12. I think we ended up going at like 12 a.m. p.m. a.m. Yeah, 12 a.m. on like a fucking Monday, or yeah, I think it was a Monday night. Yeah, Monday or Sunday night. It was fucking one of them. Got our fucking kitted out, got our gloves, got our masks, got our fucking torches and everything else. We scattered it out beforehand, figuring out where we're going to enter from. We'll go in the front door, we'll jump over it, the yada yada yada. So I drive there, and we're going around the side, and immediately next door, there is like... it's like more of an industrialized sort of area. There's a warehouse next door, and as we're like walking along, a fucking security guard for the warehouse next to it pulls in, and immediately we all hit the deck and go fucking prone, and have to wait there for like 5 minutes for this cunt to go inside, and then go out, and then leave again. And then, quickly after that, I'd never felt so fucking cool than when we were going into the building for the first time. So after we eventually waited for the security guard to leave, we all got up from the ground that was also shattered in glass. Thankfully, we had our gloves and everything. So we walk up to the main entrance. We jump up over a wall, hide around the side, because it's a fucking giant main highway road. Also looking right at it, so we got to duck, and then one by one, call each other over, and with hand signals and everything, and next one jumps up, next one jump up. And then I go up to the main front door, throw a towel over, fucking jump the door frame, and then, one by one would jump, and, eventually then we got inside. And it just wasn't as cool as we were hoping for, unfortunately. It had been there for a while, and it was very much fucking stripped out. The main sort of, warehouse sort of part was just completely empty. There was, what looked like used to be stepped lanes there at one point that have long since been fucking removed. In fact, there actually looked like that someone maybe half-constructed a skate park in there, because there was a rail in there. There was a little ramp-looking thing. But I don't know if I'd probably skate in there, because there's a lot of little, shards of glass and other little fucky things, and, I'm pretty sure I actually did find a needle syringe in there as well. So there's definitely hobos shooting up in that fucking warehouse as well. So, no thanks. I don't really want to fucking, go primo trying to do a fucking kickflip or heel flip and then accidentally impale myself on a AIDS heroin bloody needle. So, also, that would just make way too much fucking noise. We actually took in a little plastic bowling set as well, with the intention of playing bowls. Playing bowls? What is that acronym? What is the fucking word? Just playing bowling? Because bowls and bowling are separate things. I don't know, playing bowling is what I'm going to say for now, I suppose, inside. But we literally dropped one of the pins, and the echo of the entire empty warehouse, as it hit the ground, we immediately just let's not do the bowling thing inside, let's just explore everything else. And yeah, there wasn't really much else to explore. There was some funny graffiti. Some graffiti on the wall, don't do school. Don't do school, do drugs or something like that. I'm Ted Bundy's bitch was spray painted on the floor. Giant Nazi symbol, the usual stuff that you'd see graffitied on abandoned places like this. And so we wandered around a little bit longer. We look in the toilets. It's just completely caved in from the roof, and there's bricks everywhere. It's kind of cool. Wander around one of the back corridors is kind of creepy as fuck, trying to open doors, and it's jammed. Absolutely shut from God knows how many years of mold and whatever the fuck. And then, yeah, we're in there for maybe 20 minutes before we're just alright, well, we've seen pretty much everything now, and then fucking, one by one, leap back over, and then leave again. So yeah, there wasn't too much things that interesting happened. We just, we could check it off the list now. We've gone past it quite a few times and be like, oh, I wonder what that would be like. So we can say we've done it now, but there's, not much else to that story particularly. If you want to see video from it again, go check out my TikTok or my Twitter, because I'll probably post it up there as well. And yeah, that's all I have to really say about that. Speaking of being a degenerate, though, with my friend that I've been going skating with for probably about 2-3 years at this point now, we went to a university campus recently in Brisbane. Because, it's relatively new-ish, and there's a lot of really nice paved paths around there. And it's also really fucking hilly. And it's good to practice braking and stuff as well, because you might fucking just die if you come around a part and there's a car there. So good thing to practice braking and everything else like that. Just getting around the car park, that's perfectly fucking smooth. If you're a skateboarder or, rollerblader, or you skate any sort of thing with wheels, I suppose, and you like smooth surfaces, go to a university car park. It's probably the best. You might get kicked out by security, but that's fine. Or you can just, escape security, which I'll fucking get to in a minute. So we're walking around this university campus, and I guess it's open 24 hours to late for people to study, because we're there on a really retarded time at night, 11 p.m. or something like that, wandering around. And there's just giant buildings that are just completely empty, but we can just wander in. And at first, we just went on a quest to find some fucking energy drinks, because we were pretty, dehydrated, and we just wanted a bit of energy. My friend wanted a Red Bull, I wanted a Monster. Eventually, we came to a little, I guess, makeshift canteen that was just, 5 fucking vending machines around. And 2 of them had Monster. And both of them, when I tried to get it, even though it was in the vending machine and I could see it, when I typed the number, it'd just say, sorry, understocked. And it just wouldn't fucking give it to me. And I'm like, cool, I want to give you money. And I can see the products, but it's just not going to give it to me. Epic. None of them also either had a Red Bull, so we just kept fucking wandering around. And so yeah, that's when we started wandering in this first building that was literally 5 levels. And the entire time we're like, we should not be here, because we're just wandering around this building with a fucking skateboard in hand at the same time. I had 3D printing stuff, and I had a nice CR10S and everything. It was pretty fucking cool, not gonna lie. And also hilariously, the absolute size of this university campus is also funny to me, considering my university that I went to was a single building, and I'm still about triple to quadruple the debt of all of my friends that go to that university. So that's epic as well. So yeah, we're getting towards the exit of this place, because like, oh, that's okay, we've explored pretty much everything. And then we get to like a weird like theater almost looking thing. We're like, what is all this weird like seating? It almost looks like that stadium seating where it looks like just giant steps, but it's like for sitting, I guess is the best way to say it. There's a little pedestal off to the side with a little tablet. And I'm like, oh, that's weird, it's still on. What is this? And there's a button that just says start. And I wander over to it, and I'm like, what does this do? So I press the start button, and then immediately a literal 10-meter projector just starts lowering from the ceiling. And I'm like, oh no, what have I done? Uh-oh. And then the giant Lego of the university campus just comes on the screen. And then I can see on the tablet, it says, start screencasting. And I'm like, no way. Surely not. Surely I can't just connect like this. And so I pull up my phone, I pull out active screencast, and immediately it works instantly. I get my phone connected to this 10-meter fucking projector. I'm also connected to the sound speaker, and I'm suddenly overwhelmed with choice and power of what I can do here. Because we definitely should not be here. We don't fucking go to the campus, let alone, should use any of these fucking facilities that they have open to people. And so I'm like, oh shit, what do I do? Film a couple bits for the group chat, writing I have snake AIDS and that sort of good shit meme. And then I don't know what else to do, so I go on YouTube, pull out the Polish cow meme, and then start dancing for a bit for like 5 minutes. And then immediately realize how fucking loud it is. I'm like, I might turn this down a little bit. And then pull up You Reposted in the Wrong Neighborhood, which is also a banger. Dance to that for a little bit. And then I think just watch one more shit meme before I'm just like, okay, I'm going to put the projector back up. Film a bit shit meme there as well. Again, I have this all filmed, so I might even cut this into a TikTok or a video too. Problem is my face is in it a lot, so I might have to do a bit of blurring or, cut around it. We'll fucking see, I suppose. And so we're like, okay, let's fucking leave. Let's just take the W, and that's kind of funny. We'll maybe do this again. Let's fucking leave before someone finds us or we get, escorted off everywhere by security. And so we leave, and we're hanging outside for like, another 5 or 10 minutes or so, recapping like what the fuck just happened. We just logged into a giant projector and screencast some shit memes, and then breakdanced for a funny bit as well. And then we literally see a security guard sprinting to the building and going in like one of our own little exits. And we see her walk in the room that we were just in, and we're like, okay, we're on the run now. Security's fucking after us. And so immediately we're just like, okay, let's keep walking around. And so we're wandering around the campus a little bit more. We go up like a weird elevator up to, another fucking level. And we can see like 2 security guards walking together, actively looking around pretty fucking sporadically. They're like literally on the lookout trying to fucking find us at this point. And we're just, filming more shit memes, waving down at them because they're facing the opposite direction. And we're like, haha, we're up here, dummies. As they're trying to like actively find us and everything. Until eventually, it gets to like 12 o'clock. And we're like, oh, I should probably figure out how the fuck to get home right about now. And so, part ways with my friend, he lives the opposite direction to me. And then this campus is fucking huge. And to get back to my bus station that I was at, I could either go around or I could go through the campus. And I'm like, oh, fuck it, I think I know where I'm going. And then try and go through the campus. And immediately as I turn a corner, about 50 meters ahead, up some stairs, I can just see a security guard standing there, just looking at me with their hands on their fucking hips. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not going that way, I suppose. And so I literally go out of my way to go around like this fucking road that goes up the hill as well to go around them. And then literally as I go up around the road, I can see the security car parked there. And so I hide behind that van that was theirs very clearly and film some more shit memes around them, laughing at them. And then fucking skated all the way back for another about 10 minutes, figuring out where the fuck I was, until eventually I got to, I saw my bus station, And I was just in a weird, fucking, stupid mood, I suppose. And I guess I'd been watching some Too Bad memes for some reason, or whatever. And as I'm getting to the station, I literally say out loud, "Hey, finally, there's the bus station. There's the bus station." And just for some fucking reason, talking about bussy and doing a fucking Ugandan African accent. And, again, 12 o'clock, no one around, until I look across the road and there's just an Asian guy with groceries in his hand, maintaining eye contact with me the entire time. And I'm like, oh, okay. So then I continue talking to myself. So, 100% thinks that I'm fucking, schizo. I have some sort of fucking mental health issue. Because from his perspective, we'll just hear of me rolling down with the skateboard and just hear, "The bussy, the bus station, yeah, the bussy." That's just so fucking funny to me. And then, yeah, just caught the bus home, and that was my antics from putting up a shit meme on a 10-meter projector at 11 p.m. at night. I also went up a bit of a hiking trip yesterday, day before, as well, again, up a place in Ipswich called Mount Blaine. I hadn't been up this one before, but my roommate really wanted to go, and he's like, "Hey, you want to probably should go with someone for a place that I've never been to before." And I'm like, "Alright, cool, yeah, no worries, I'll go with you." And it's overcast this day as well, just to preface everything, and there's a chance of rain. And if you probably don't want to hike or climb a mountain, especially when it's raining. And immediately the main trail to it is overgrown to hell, and oh my good god, I have never encountered so many spiders in my fucking life. Because I guess this isn't just a popular trail by any fucking means. There was spiders constantly strung across the track, and we were just literally walking the spider webs every fucking few meters, which was good and bad. Good because we got a small short break of the spider web will just get us out of the way. And literally at one point we both had a stick in our hand, and we're literally waving it in front of us like we're a fucking autistic version of Harry Potter trying to cast a fucking spell, trying to get rid of a goddamn spider web in front of us. Because it's Australia. We're out in the bush. It's probably fair to just, fuck off every spider you see, because we don't know. We don't know which ones are completely poisonous. Obviously, the big ones and whatever, but literally in the middle of, pretty much fucking nowhere. It literally took 10 minutes of, an off-track road going into, a foresty area. So we're pretty fucking deep, and it'd be a good while before any sort of emergency services could make it out to us. And so it was very steep as well. Probably I'd say 60 to 70 degree inclines at some points. So a lot of breaks you probably had there as well. And yeah, I think, again, I put some pictures on my Twitter for it as well. We get to the mountain finally after an hour and a half of trekking up to the fucking base of it, essentially. And immediately we see signs everywhere of caution, danger, loose rocks everywhere, and we're like, oh, this is going to be fun. Surely it's not that bad. And if the spiders weren't bad enough, a lot of the way up and the way down had so many loose stones and boulders. And it was kind of terrifying, to be honest, because it's just is this, is this stone that I'm going to put my foot on going to roll away when I put any weight on it? Am I going to just die if I put my full weight on this? And, trying to maintain the whole 3 points of contact while you're also, holding your fucking de-spidering stick at the same way as well, because you literally can't let it go. Because, yeah, again, like I said, there was some spots where it was just so overgrown, especially with all the rain that we've had recently, and the spiders across it, that you had to duck to go through trees and overgrown grass and everything, and of course there's going to be spiders across it. And there was some fat, dumpy huntsman spiders there as well that I did not want to really get that close, but I was literally passing it by my fucking nose as I try not to disturb the bastard and, make the cunt angry. And so finally get through there, slip many a fucking time. We get halfway up. My roommate unfortunately wore a polo shirt for some reason, so he just had little fucking sticky little fucky plant bits and pieces all over them. I had like a kind of a spandex sort of thing on, so it didn't really stick to me at all because I somewhat thought ahead beforehand. Because doing a lot of urbex, you quickly learn what sticks to you and what doesn't, especially in these abandoned places, and what you don't want stuck to you, very much so. And I'm like, ooh, what's this tiny thing down here? And I almost pick it up, and then I quickly realized, oh, that's another used needle. But that one very much confused me, because fair enough, used needle in an abandoned spot, that makes sense. This used needle was probably about 75% the way up this fucking mountain, which was also the second highest one in the region here, and it was so close. You couldn't shoot up at the summit. You had to choose this tiny fucking spot here, which again was probably one of the worst spots with loose stones and rocks. So that's the last place I want to be fucking high on who knows whatever the fuck, heroin, meth, I don't know. What drugs do you put in a needle that isn't just heroin? I don't know, man. I love how I just asked myself a question and then answered it. So it's my train of consciousness. Again, I have done weed for the first time like 2 months ago. So I don't know what's fucking in a needle, my dude. So eventually, finally get up to the summit, laughing at all the spiders around here as we spray them with bug spray that we have with us, swatting away march flies, taking some pictures. And then we begin to hear thunder that sounds really fucking close. And because we're at a summit of a mountain, we can literally see like the patches of rain clouds and like the spots where it's like raining. And that's always just like really blown my mind too. It's like, have you ever been like driving, or you ever been in a spot where it's like a wall of rain? Because I could very much just see like the weird semicircle of like the pocket of rain where it's just like, fuck this spot in particular where it's going to rain on. And so when we could hear thunder, we're like, oh, this is, and I could feel a couple spots on my arm too, and we're like, oh, I know it took us about 2 hours to get up, but we spent maybe 10 minutes here, but let's probably go down, because there's a metal pole on top of the summit. And, we're also very high up too, and I don't want to be stuck on a mountain particularly, so let's go. And for some reason, my roommate's just like, oh, there's a back trail here, and let's take that all the way back, and not the way that we already know and, are somewhat familiar with. And the entire time we're like, oh, do we go this way, do we go that way, and blah, blah, blah. And then, eventually it comes to a point where I slip again, and I slam my fucking arm on some rocks and scratch up my forearm and my goddamn elbow. And I still have the scratches now, unfortunately, but it did feel pretty cool when I had someone ask me, oh man, did you get in a fight? How did you scratch up that arm? So like, nah, I fell down a mountain. It's a pretty cool thing to fucking say. Nah, man, I fell down a mountain. And I survived. Really, I slipped a bit, which, I'm telling the soft truth, I'm going to call it. When I say falling down a mountain, more just slipping a little bit and then slamming. And so eventually, again, after being like, is this the right way? I have no idea, but YOLO, I just want to get down the mountain and not be stuck on it while it's raining. About another hour or so, half hour to get down to the bottom, we come to a walking track. The walking track says 3 kilometers the other direction, and with the steepness and the incline of everything, it then took us about another hour and a half to get all the way fucking back to the car. And then after the drive out of there, we're driving for maybe 10 minutes, it starts to absolutely piss down so hard that we can hardly see the end of the bonnet of the fucking car as well. And I mean, my roommate drives, because he was driving at this point as well, he drives probably a hatchback style car, so it's a smaller car, and the fact that we can't see the fucking bonnet is absolutely terrifying. And I have the realization that like, oh yeah, if we spent maybe like next 20-30 minutes, we would have been fucked. Absolutely fucked. Coming down that bastard. So thankfully we got out there just in time, and not fucking die, I suppose. Alright, I suppose it's time for your favorite time of the podcast. I don't know, it might be, might not be. And that is, of course, the most autistic part of this podcast. And that is, of course, where I answer comments, questions, queries, and talk about topics that you can't suggest to me. So, as always, if you want to make any questions, I should say, or topics, drop it in my Discord, go into the Greencast channel, and pop something in there, and I might read it, might ignore it. If you just do a shit meme, how, okay, let's see. Let me give an example of not what to fucking asks. Let's see. One guy just says poop review. Of course, that's going to get... What do you think of Jews? Definitely something is going to get ignored because I don't want to touch that with a 10-foot fucking pole, to be honest. So let's see an example of a decent question. Backup 676 version 4 asks, what useful skills do you have and do you wish you knew? Stuff like gardening, sewing, fishing, etc. I don't know. So, useful skills I have, I think I definitely inherited from my dad. I've got a very much DIY sort of sense of mind and fixing things by myself, or, have a problem, let me just try and, build something to fix it or whatever the fuck. So I'm sort of proficient woodworker. I've built some of my own furniture and stuff. I have a nice little shelving unit that I have for myself with a nice little wing for my phone that I nicely varnished. I built my own desk that I have my computer on. I've built a lot of my own shelves and bits and pieces for my workshop that I have going. I know how to fish. I wouldn't say that it's a hobby by any sort of mean. I do wish I knew how to sew better. I know the fundamentals of sewing, but I wish I could sew better. Because, stuff like fixing my clothes is definitely something that I think I might actually... went a bit Kiwi for it. Actually, it's something that I could probably, be useful in my own fucking life. Because before, I just throw stuff at my mom and go, Mom, my pants have a hole in them. Fix, please. Because, I got such a thick-ass dumpy because it's so absolutely fat and tight from my... I don't know why I described my ass like that. I quickly realized. I don't know. I'll do a lot of squats. I got a toned ass. What do you want from me? Weird sideline thing. So I guess now that I'm on it, working out is definitely something that I'm glad that I know that I guess is kind of a skill. Learning and knowing proper workout routines and that sort of stuff and how to use equipment. 3D printing is always cool. I wish I knew how to 3D model more stuff or know how to. Again, I know the fundamentals of 3D modeling. It's just, actually making 3D models I'm just horrible at, so then I have to stop stealing stuff online. That'd be nice. Gardening, I know a little bit about. I do enjoy a bit of gardening. I guess sewing is probably the biggest one. Finance, I guess everybody properly learn how tax works. That'd be fucking nice. Instead of becoming an adult and just be like, hey, by the way, taxes are a thing, pay them or fucking go to jail. And it'd be like, what? Or, just fucking your paycheck disappearing because, you live in a high-tax state or whatever the fuck. I guess sewing's probably the biggest one, I'd say, because then I can also make my own costumes. I do make some of my own costumes. More soft parts for costumes is definitely probably the biggest one, I'd say. Striker says, scenario. Your family is taken hostage, and the man who took them gives you a dilemma and a gun. You have to go out and kill 10 random people, or send $1 million USD, or your family will be killed. Which one do you do? Don't crucify me too hard, but I feel like even my own family would agree. I don't really have that big of a family, and I assume when you say family, I assume you mean immediate family, and the only immediate family I have are my parents. I don't really have any siblings. I have half-brothers and sisters. I grew up as an only child. My half-brothers and sisters are in their 40s and 50s and have their own families and such. So, my immediate family is my mum and my dad. And my dad is 83 years old, and my mum is in her 60s. And I feel like given this scenario, killing 10 people or, sending $1 million, I feel like they'd be okay with me choosing, okay, kill them, to be honest. Because unless I get a third party to help send the $1 million, I'm just going to let them die. And I feel like they'd be okay with that too. They're retired, they're in a fucking beach town, retired. They're fine, they're living their best life. They're quite content, I think, where they are. So, to be honest, I think I'd just let them die. Ooh, this is interesting. Red Fox 4524 asks, what are your thoughts on gel ball? I think I might have talked about this ages ago on the podcast, but for people that are pretty much anyone who isn't in the US, who is pretty much people who are in Australia and New Zealand, probably know what gel ball and gel ball blasting and gel soft is. It's basically, imagine airsoft guns, but instead of shooting little metal BBs, they sell tiny little gel balls, which are essentially these. Imagine like Orbeez is the best thing. You know, things that you put in water, it absorbs it. They do shoot kind of fast, but they explode on impact and they don't really hurt particularly at all. It's a whole industry here, but the whole thing that's kind of weird with it is that there's different laws from state to state. I'm in Queensland, which has the most relaxed laws regarding gel ball blasting. So I can own one completely fine. Obviously, don't be a fuckhead about it and, you know, take them out in public and wave them around or shoot people passers-by because, you know, they do look like real guns. I will give them to them that. South Australia is going through some shit at the moment because they have banned gel blasters, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. I own a couple. I have a M16... I have an M4A1. And I also have a Vector. And I think I also have maybe a revolver and a Glock as well. But yeah, I don't really have that big of a backyard to really do it well anyway. So they've just sat in a storage container for like a year at this point. Because I don't have a big enough backyard and don't really want to get that deep into the hobby of gel blasting and, you know, go out to fields as much as fun as I think it would be. That's just a whole other thing that I don't know if I can be bothered with, to be honest. But yeah, I think they're pretty cool. And fuck off, let everyone enjoy it in Australia. That's what I have to say about gel blasters. Oh, this is absolutely easy. Cy Dawn asks, what's your least favorite social media? Snapchat. By far. Couldn't give a fuck. It could get deleted and I'd be happy with it. The only times I've used Snapchat in the last 3 years, I'd say, is because of a girl. Is because of girls that I was dating at the time that used Snapchat and would constantly, you know, talk back and forth with them and whatever, and they liked the idea of stuff disappearing. And I don't know, at the time, the last girl I was dating, more sensitive topics would talk on Snapchat about them, so they'd delete themselves, which is, I don't know how I feel about it looking back at it now. Because, you know, you could just say whatever the fuck and then it gets deleted and you have no proof of the other person saying it. Streaks are cool, I guess. The filters are pretty, you know, innovative. I will give Snapchat that. But I couldn't give a fuck at all about it, to be honest. Cool. If I want to send you a picture, I'll fucking send it over Facebook Messenger like everybody else that, you know, uses it or whatever the fuck. Or literally any other app because no one uses it except for girls. So... yeah, the only times I'd get any notifications from Snapchat were, hey, so-and-so is added to the story. And it's like, cool, there's 2 people I went to high school with that I don't care about. Cool, fuck off. So Snapchat is definitely my least favorite social media. Good old backup 676v4 asks, why don't you garden? Actually, I have been gardening, to say that. You probably know because I dropped it in my Discord and other people, I guess, that browse the Plant Gang channel in the Discord. I had a thing recently where in my backyard, one of the tree plant things, I don't know if I really call it a tree, I'm just going to call it a tree for the sake of this story. It had like 3 or 4 different bases where it would come out from, and it had grown so much in the year that we've been in this place that it had been bending over. And I guess had grown so much that it bent so much that it snapped from the base and like took over half of the backyard. So I had to contact the real estate to then, you know, forward a message to the owner and just be like, hey, can I prune this back? And he was, you know, I don't mind doing a bit of gardening. That's pretty much all my dad did in his retirement was just fuck around in the garden every day. So, you know, I know some stuff about gardening and pruning especially because that's his favorite thing to do is prune a fucking plant and my mum yelling at him, why'd you prune that fucking thing? It's not going to grow back for another year now. So yeah, the owner was very much happy that she didn't have to pay for a gardener or anything else to come remove the thing. She went, oh yeah, they can prune it back to the ground if they want. And I'm like, fuck yeah. So I went and bought some prune shears from Bunnings for like $3. Cut the bastard up, chopped off all the main little branches and leaves and bits and pieces, put that in the big pile, along with the small branches, and then the thicker boy branches that I couldn't, chop off. I had a little hacksaw that I couldn't really use for woodworking because it was so blunt. Perfect for trees, though. So I would hack off the giant parts of that, snapped it off from the base that was already snapped, threw that in we have a green waste bin at our little place, and then the rest of it, I just went over the top of the lawnmower, and then mulched it all up, and then threw it in the garden. Job fucking done! And they were more than happy with that. So I'm thinking of actually replacing that with a little succulent garden table. I had one of my friends recently reach out, because I half mentioned it to them, and they're offering me some of their stuff that they don't want anymore. So get that, maybe start some little cactuses, and grow my own little bonsai. So yeah, I think I actually am going to be gardening, so I'll probably be in that chat a lot more, Mr. Backup. I feel like a lot of this time it's just the two people that actually have decent questions, and I kind of feel bad, but I guess take a thing from the two people. Striker again asks, would you rather have a ton of money but have a micro dick, or would you rather have a massive dong that would please any woman but be broke? And to be honest, this is fucking easy, because I'd rather have a micro dick and a ton of money, because women are attracted to money. Because look, it doesn't really matter if I have a massive dong that would please any woman, because again, I'd still be me, unless I'm flashing my dong at people, and if a girl is attracted to a giant penis, then there you go. But also, I don't know if you know, but there's more than one way to please a woman with without your penis. One of my favorite ways, actually. It's so weird having people I know listen to this who are like, this is how I please a woman. Yeah, look, I'd rather have a ton of money and have a micro dick, to be honest, because if I have a ton of money, if I could still have a happy relationship, whatever the fuck, that'd still probably, fuck my micro dick. You can still have, pleasure with it. If you have a micro dick, here's a bit of a, thing for you. If you have a micro dick, you can be a bit more rough doing sex with whatever when you're fucking someone, because you got less chance of hurting someone. So yeah, easy. Micro dick, ton of money. Okay, I think that's probably about it for this week's podcast. Yeah, of course, again, if you got any questions, queries, topics, or any stories you think I might enjoy, if you are getting to some, okay, so here's the thing. If you made it all the way to this podcast, please let me know your degenerate stories, and I'll read them on the podcast next week. I really I'm not fully encouraging, but if you think, not completely fucking illegal, but degenerate stories maybe a little bit illegal, that might be funny, send them through to me at mrgreentext@gmail.com, or through the Discord, or, any other means. Pop them in the YouTube comments, I'll read them as well. And, I haven't done a secret word in a while, actually. So, yeah, if you made it the whole way through the podcast, include the word degenerate in your comment somewhere, so I know that you've made it the whole way, and I'll give a little heart to it, so it can be acknowledged from the big boy, big man Green. And yeah, that's about it. My name's Jeff. Catch you later, cunts.